Hello there, and welcome to the Astro Sleep channel. I am so glad you found your way here tonight. Wherever you are right now, whether the lights are dim or the room is already completely dark, whether this is the tired end of a long day or the quiet, still middle of the night, you have arrived at a gentle place. This is a sanctuary designed for you to wander without needing to hurry anywhere afterward. A space where curiosity slows down, thoughts soften, and science takes its time. Take a moment to simply acknowledge that you have made it here. The demands of the day are finished. The noise of the world outside has faded into the distance, leaving only the soft, steady rhythm of your own breathing and the quiet hum of the silence around you. You are safe here, nestled in the comfort of your own space, supported by the surface beneath you. There is no quiz at the end of this journey, no facts you are required to remember, and no effort you need to expend. You do not need to hold on to every number or term we explore tonight. You can let them pass by the way clouds drift slowly across a calm sky, knowing they are there without needing to chase them. Tonight, our topic is one that feels both impossibly large and strangely familiar. It is something most of us have looked at without fully grasping, a presence that has followed humanity since long before calendars, clocks, or even written language. We are going to talk about stars. We are going to explore a question that sounds simple at first, like something a child might ask while lying on their back in the cool grass, staring up at the summer night sky. We are going to ask, how many stars are in the universe? But we will not answer this with urgent mathematics or frantic counting. Instead, we will approach it in a careful, grounded, and quietly curious way. We will treat this question not as a problem to be solved, but as a vast, open landscape to be wandered through. It is a question that stops being about tallying objects and starts being about understanding limits. If these calm, curious explorations help you unwind, I invite you to like or subscribe. It helps other sleepy souls find their way here, too. And now, as we prepare to drift into this ocean of ancient light, I invite you to turn your attention inward. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Unclench your jaw. Let your hands rest loosely by your sides, open and relaxed. Feel the weight of your body sinking deeper into the mattress, as if gravity itself has become softer, warmer, and more embracing. Imagine for a moment that the ceiling above you is dissolving, fading away into a transparent veil. Above you, there is only the deep, velvet stillness of the night sky. It is not a frightening darkness, but a protective one, a heavy blanket that wraps around the world and quiets the noise of the day. Breathe in slowly, filling your lungs with the cool, quiet air of the night, and breathe out, letting go of any remaining tension, watching it drift away like smoke into the ether. With every breath, you are becoming heavier. With every breath, your eyelids feel more pleasant and weighted, eager to close and rest. We're about to embark on a long, unhurried voyage. We will travel from the familiar view of our own backyard, through the spiral arms of our home galaxy, and out into the deepest reaches of cosmic time, where the galaxies multiply like grains of sand on an endless beach. It is a journey of scale and perspective, a journey that reminds us that we are part of something vast and eternal. There is nothing left for you to do but rest. Let your mind relax, your breathing slow, and your thoughts drift like leaves on a slow-moving river. The universe is waiting for us, patient and silent. Let's begin. There is a quiet place where this journey always begins. It does not begin in a laboratory filled with humming machines. or inside the dome of a great observatory. It begins simply, with the most natural and ancient human action imaginable. It begins with the act of stepping outside, tilting your head back, and letting your eyes rest upon the darkness. Let us drift back to that primary experience, the one that exists before we know any names for what we are seeing, before we understand distances or nuclear fusion. We return to the sanctuary of the naked eye. On a clear night, far away from the interference of bright city lights, the sky does not feel empty at all. It feels crowded, but in a way that creates space rather than taking it away. When you first look up, you might see only a few dazzling points of light, the guardians of the early evening that shine steadily through the twilight. But as you linger, as your breathing settles into a slower rhythm, the velvet curtain above seems to deepen. Thousands of tiny points begin to scatter across the darkness. They are arranged unevenly, almost casually, as if a great hand had simply opened and let them fall like diamond dust, with no need for grid lines or order. Some of them shine with a hard, unblinking steadiness, piercing the atmosphere with a resolute beam. Others seem to flicker, trembling slightly as their light navigates the currents of air above you. And if you look long enough, allowing your gaze to soften and drift, you might begin to notice that they are not all white. A few hold a faint, shy color, a whisper of blue, a touch of cold orange, or a burning red ember glowing quietly in the distance. This is the texture of our home from the inside. It is a view that has remained largely unchanged for the entirety of human existence. We often forget that for most of history, the stars were not scientific objects to be analyzed. They were an environment. They were as much a part of the natural habitat as the ground beneath one's feet or the trees on the horizon. Imagine for a moment a time before the constant hum of electricity, before the glow of screens and streetlights washed out the heavens. For our ancestors, darkness was real and deep. It was a physical presence that descended every evening, transforming the world. And against that heavy, absolute darkness, the stars were sharp, unavoidable, and intensely present. Looking up was not a special activity reserved for astronomers or poets. It was simply part of existing after sunset. The sky was the ceiling of the world, a vast, domed roof that everyone shared. There is a profound comfort in realizing that when you look up tonight, you are performing the exact same ritual that countless others have performed across thousands of years. You are seeing the same general patterns, the same silent, drifting lights that guided travelers across oceans and told farmers when the seasons were turning. This continuity creates a quiet thread connecting us to deep time. Mountains on Earth erode and change their shape. Rivers shift their courses. Trees grow tall and eventually fall. But the stars, at least on the scale of a human life or even a civilization, appear unchanged. They are the steady witnesses. They offer a stability that stands out in a world where almost everything else moves, ages, or disappears. To look at them is to anchor yourself in something that does not rush. And in this stillness, the mind naturally begins to wander. It starts with a simple, childlike impulse. You might try to count them. It sounds like something a child might do while lying on their back in the grass, staring up at the infinite, and trying to tally the brightest points until they lose track. And if you have ever tried to do this, you already know how quickly the effort dissolves. Counting stars is not like counting coins on a table or trees in a forest. It is a task that resists completion. You might start with the Great Bear or the Belt of Orion, counting 1, 2, 3. But as your eyes move to the space between them, you notice fainter stars you missed a moment before. You lose your place. The number keeps changing, shimmering, just out of reach. The act of observing changes what you think you are observing. The sky you see at the first glance is not the same sky you see after 5 minutes, or 10, or an hour. It deepens. It reveals more of itself the longer you wait. This inability to count them is not a failure. It is part of the beauty. It reminds us that the universe is not neat and tidy. It is sprawling and unruly, a vast overflow of existence that cannot be contained in a simple list. The stars refuse to be just a number. They insist on being an experience. And so, faced with random points of light that refuse to be counted, the human mind does something else. It connects them. Since the earliest nights around ancient campfires, humans have looked at the chaos of the stars and drawn lines between them. We find patterns where there are none, creating order out of the silence. We see a hunter with his bow raised against a bull. We see a bear padding softly through the celestial north. We see a river of light flowing toward the horizon. These constellations are not real structures in space. The stars that make them up are often separated by enormous distances, having nothing to do with one another physically. But from our vantage point on Earth, they appear to stand together. These stories anchored human experience in something larger. They connected the small, daily struggles of life on the ground to the grand, eternal canopy overhead. Wondering about the stars was never just about the stars themselves. It was about belonging. It was about looking at the cold, indifferent vastness and finding a way to make it feel like home. There is also something physically soothing about the act of stargazing. Have you ever noticed how your body changes when you look at the night sky? It changes your posture. You have to stop moving. You have to plant your feet or lie down. You have to lift your chin and open your chest. It changes your breathing. The air at night feels different, crisper, slower. Your attention shifts away from the immediate concerns of the day, the emails, the conversations, the schedules, and moves towards something broader and slower. People often report feeling a strange mix of comfort and smallness when gazing at the stars. It is an uneasy curiosity at first, realizing that what you can see is only a fraction of what is there. But that feeling quickly softens into relief. It is the relief of realizing that you do not need to be the center of everything. The universe is carrying on its long, slow dance without needing your input. The stars shine whether they are observed or not. That indifference can feel unsettling to the awake mind, but to the sleepy mind, it is profoundly grounding. It means you can let go. It means the world is held together by forces much larger than your own worries. Even today, in our modern lives packed full of screens and artificial urgencies, there is still something that quietly pulls the eyes upward when night falls. It doesn't matter if you understand astronomy or not. The impulse comes first. It is built into us, a biological memory of the days when the sky was our clock, our calendar, and our map. And as you rest here, imagining that view, you might realize that the question, how many stars are there, changes depending on who is asking it. To the naked eye, the answer seems manageable at first. On the clearest night in the darkest place on Earth, a person with sharp vision can see perhaps a few thousand stars. That is a large number, but it is a finite one. It is a number you could theoretically count if you had enough patience, and the sky would stop turning. But even with the naked eye, we sense that this count is an illusion. We see the faint, milky band of light stretching across the sky, the backbone of night, as some cultures called it. We see the fuzzy patch of the Pleiades cluster, where 6 or 7 stars blur into a glowing mist. We sense that the darkness between the bright stars is not empty, but simply filled with light too faint for our eyes to catch. We stand on the edge of a great ocean, dipping our toes in the shallows. The stars we can see are just the foam on the waves near the shore. Out there, in the deep water, lies the true magnitude of the galaxy. But for now, we do not need to swim out that far. It is enough to stand on the shore. It is enough to appreciate the view from here. So let yourself settle into this sanctuary. Visualize the night sky as a vast, quiet room that you have stepped into. The floor is the turning earth. The walls are the horizon, dark and soft. And the ceiling is the universe itself, painted with these thousands of gentle, flickering lamps. In this room, there is no hurry. The stars move so slowly that they appear motionless to us, inching across the sky at a pace that makes the hour hand of a clock seem fast. They are not going anywhere. You do not need to capture them. You do not need to organize them. You can simply be beneath them. In ancient times, people believed the stars were fixed to a crystalline sphere, rotating eternally around the Earth. While we know the physics are different now, the feeling remains true. We are held within a sphere of light. We are the observers at the center of our own personal dome. And in this quiet observation, the mind shifts from doing to noticing. It shifts from controlling to accepting. This slowing down is important. You cannot rush the sky. You cannot skim it like a document. It doesn't reward urgency. It invites lingering. That makes it especially compatible with rest, with reflection, and with a heavy, sweet drift towards sleep. As we prepare to look deeper, to let our eyes adjust and see what lies hidden in the shadows, remember that this simple, naked eye view is where it all started. Before telescopes, before satellites, before computers, there was just the human eye and the night. That connection is still there, waiting for you whenever you choose to look up. It is a connection of wonder, of silence, and of a peace that has lasted for billions of years. Rest in that feeling for a moment. The feeling of being small, but safe. The feeling of being watched over by the silent, steady light of distant suns. The feeling that the universe is vast enough to hold all of your thoughts and still have room for infinite silence. The sky you see at first glance is not the sky that is actually there. It is a waiting game. When you first step out from a brightly lit room into the embrace of the night, your eyes are still carrying the memory of the day. They are tuned to the frequencies of sunlight, of lamps, of screens. They are prepared for sharp edges and bright colors. And so, when they meet the darkness, they see mostly shadows. The sky appears as a flat, dark canopy, with only the boldest stars punching through, like the few lonely lights of a ship on a distant horizon. But if you stay there, if you allow yourself to simply stand or lie still and let the minutes drift by, a quiet transformation begins to take place. It happens inside you. It is a biological opening, a slow chemical bloom within the retina itself. We call this dark adaptation, but that scientific term feels too clinical for what is essentially a kind of physical surrender. Your eyes begin to shift their reliance from the cells that crave the day to the cells that understand the night. The visual purple, a light-sensitive pigment known as rhodopsin, begins to regenerate in the back of your eyes. It is a fragile substance, easily bleached away by bright light, but in the safety of the dark, it rebuilds itself. It accumulates slowly, layer by layer, increasing your sensitivity to the faintest glimmers of the universe. This process cannot be rushed. It takes 10 minutes to see the major constellations clearly. It takes 20 minutes for the fainter stars to step forward from the background. It takes nearly 45 minutes for the eye to reach its full, deep sensitivity. It is a lesson in patience. As this change happens, the sky above you seems to deepen. It is not that the universe is changing. It is that you are becoming ready to receive it. Areas of the sky that looked empty moments ago suddenly begin to populate. A patch of darkness that seemed blank reveals a dusting of faint, shy stars. The constellation of Orion gains a shield. The Great Bear gains paws. The Milky Way itself, that river of silver mist, begins to curdle and separate into textures of light and shadow. The number of stars you can count literally changes with every breath you take, simply because you are waiting. The act of observation is dynamic. It is a relationship between the stillness of the observer and the faintness of the light. The longer you rest, the more the universe reveals. It is as if the stars are shy animals, waiting for the noise of your day vision to quiet down before they venture out into the open. And then there is the trick of how to look. Experienced stargazers know a secret about human vision that feels almost counterintuitive. It is called averted vision. The center of our gaze is designed for detail and color, perfect for reading a book or recognizing a face in the daylight. But the center is blind to the dimmest lights. The edges of our vision, however, the periphery, are populated by those ancient, sensitive cells that see only in black, white, and gray. So, to see the fainter stars, you must not look directly at them. You must look slightly to the side. You must let the star hover in the corner of your eye. When you do this, a star that was invisible when stared at directly will suddenly pop into view, a ghostly spark caught in the net of your peripheral vision. If you try to turn your gaze to lock onto it, it vanishes. If you look away again, it returns. There is a gentle wisdom in this. It suggests that some things in the universe cannot be grasped tightly. They cannot be forced into clarity by sheer will or direct focus. They can only be glimpsed when we soften our gaze, when we look with a relaxed, sideways attention. The universe reveals its subtlest secrets only when we stop trying so hard to see them. It invites a softer kind of witnessing. As you watch these emerging lights, you will notice something else. They do not just sit there. They dance. They tremble. We call this twinkling, a word that sounds playful and innocent, like a nursery rhyme. But in the language of astronomy, it is called scintillation, and the reason for it connects us intimately to the planet we live on. The stars themselves do not twinkle. Out in the deep, vacuum silence of space, they shine with a rock-steady, unmoving radiance. They are powerful, constant beacons that have been burning with the same steady fusion for billions of years. The wavering light we see is not a property of the star. It is a property of the air we breathe. We live at the bottom of an ocean. It is an ocean of gas, miles deep, wrapping the Earth in a protective, chaotic blanket. This atmosphere is never truly still. It is a fluid system of currents and eddies. Warm pockets of air rising, cold layers sinking, winds shifting high in the stratosphere. It is turbulent and alive, just like water. When the thin, fragile beam of starlight enters the top of our atmosphere, it has traveled unimpeded for hundreds of years, moving in a perfectly straight line through the emptiness. But the moment it hits the air, it begins to refract. It is bent, shoved, and scattered by the moving pockets of air. The beam of light is tossed around like a small boat on a choppy sea. By the time that beam reaches your eye on the ground, it has been zigzagged thousands of times in the last fraction of a second. The star appears to jump back and forth, to dim and brighten rapidly, to flash different colors like a prism. When a star twinkles heavily, you are seeing the turbulence of the wind high above your head. You are seeing the invisible heat rising from the earth. You are watching the breathing of the atmosphere. This is why astronomers often say the sky is boiling. On nights when the air is restless, the stars dance wildly. On nights of great stillness, when the winds are calm and the layers of air are stacked smoothly like sheets of glass, the stars stand almost still. This stillness is rare and precious. It is what astronomers call good seeing. So, the twinkling is a reminder that you are not just looking at space. You are looking through Earth. You are viewing the cosmos through a shifting, fluid lens. This distortion connects the distant fusion of a sun to the immediate weather of your planet. The star you see is a collaboration between the nuclear fire of the cosmos and the gentle wind of the Earth. This interplay creates an illusion of movement. But there is another, deeper movement happening. One that is too slow to see, but profound to understand. We tend to think of the stars as fixed. We call them fixed stars, to distinguish them from the wandering planets. The constellations look the same tonight as they did when the pyramids were built. The Great Bear has not changed its shape in recorded history. But this stillness is also an illusion. It is a trick of scale. In reality, every single star you see is rushing through space at unimaginable speeds, hundreds of thousands of kilometers per hour. They are orbiting the center of the galaxy. They are drifting in their own currents. The sun is dragging the entire solar system with it. The universe is a flurry of motion. It is a kinetic, swirling storm of gravity and momentum. The only reason the stars look frozen to us is distance. They are so far away that their immense speed registers as zero to the human eye. It would take tens of thousands of years for the movement to become noticeable to a watcher on Earth. It is like watching a plane flying high in the stratosphere. It seems to hang motionless in the blue, barely crawling across the sky. Yet you know it is traveling at hundreds of miles an hour. The stars are like that, but on a scale that dwarfs our comprehension. We are surrounded by a frantic, high-speed dance that looks like eternal rest. There is something comforting in that paradox. It reminds us that calmness is often just a matter of perspective. Chaos, when viewed from far enough away, becomes order. Speed, when viewed from far enough away, becomes stillness. The turmoil of the galaxy resolves into the peaceful, silent tapestry you see above your head. And as your eyes continue to adjust, as the visual purple builds and the faint stars bloom into existence, you might notice that your own sense of time begins to match the sky. The urgency of the human clock, the second-hand ticking, the digital numbers flipping, feels less relevant. You have entered the time of the stars. In this state of adaptation, you are no longer just a person standing on the ground. You are a biological instrument, tuning yourself to the frequency of the night. Your breathing slows down to match the steady air. Your eyes open wide to drink in the photons that have traveled for centuries just to land on your retina. It is an intimate arrival. Those particles of light, those tiny packets of energy, began their journey before you were born. They crossed the vast, cold gaps between systems. They navigated the dust clouds and the magnetic fields. They survived the turbulent plunge through Earth's atmosphere, dodging the molecules of nitrogen and oxygen. And finally, they ended their journey by touching the back of your eye. That connection is physical. It is real. When you look at a star, you are touching it with your vision. You are catching the rain of the universe. And now, as your eyes have fully adapted, as the sky has transformed from a flat ceiling into a deep three-dimensional dome filled with glittering dust, we can begin to look past the surface. We can begin to ask what lies beyond the reach of our biology. We have stood on the shore long enough. The air is calm, the night is settled, and our vision is clear. We are ready to leave the ground. We are ready to drift upward, through the atmosphere that makes the stars twinkle, past the moon that watches over us, and into the structure of the city of light itself. We are ready to see where we truly live. And now, let us gently leave the ground. In our minds, we release the weight of the body, letting gravity soften its hold just enough for us to drift upward. We float up past the rooftops, past the clouds that blanket the sleeping world, and through the thin, cold layers of the upper atmosphere. As we rise, the twinkling stops. The air that made the stars dance is left behind, and the lights above us settle into a perfect, steady brilliance. We have entered the silent vacuum, the true environment of the stars. From this vantage point, looking out into the deep, we begin to realize something profound about where we are. We are not looking at a painting. We are not looking at a backdrop that has been hung in the distance for our amusement. We are inside a structure. We are inhabitants of a vast, coherent system that has a shape, a history, and a slow turning life of its own. We live inside the Milky Way. For a long time, humanity did not know this. We thought the band of milk-white light that stretches across the night sky was just a feature of the dome, perhaps a celestial river, or a seam where the heavens were stitched together. But we now know that this band is the galaxy itself, seen from the inside. Imagine you are standing in the middle of a dense, glowing forest at night. You cannot see the shape of the forest from above. You can only see the trees that surround you. When you look up, you see the open sky. But when you look sideways, through the trunks and the leaves, you see a thickening wall of wood and foliage. That is exactly what happens when we look at the Milky Way. Our galaxy is shaped like a great flattened disk, a dinner plate made of light and gravity suspended in the dark. We live inside this disk, roughly halfway between the bright, crowded center and the quiet, lonely edge. When we look up, away from the disk, we see the sparse stars of our local neighborhood and the deep black of intergalactic space beyond. But when we look sideways, along the plane of the disk, our line of sight plunges through thousands of light years of stars, gas, and dust. We are seeing the collective glow of billions of distant suns, all layered on top of one another, their individual lights blending into that soft, pearlescent haze. It is a view through the crowded, luminous streets of our own city. This city is a spiral. If we could drift far enough away, hundreds of thousands of light years out into the void, and look back, we would see one of the most elegant forms in nature. The Milky Way would appear as a magnificent pinwheel, a swirling vortex of blue and gold. It has a dense, elongated core of old, yellow stars, and from this core, great curving arms unfurl outward, wrapping around the galaxy in a graceful, geometric embrace. These spiral arms are the dynamic neighborhoods of the galaxy. They are not rigid structures, like the spokes of a wheel. They are more like waves moving across a sea, or a slow rhythm passing through a crowd. Astronomers describe them as density waves, regions where gravity causes the gas and stars to bunch up temporarily as they orbit. Think of a traffic jam on a highway, where cars slow down for a moment and then speed up again. The jam persists, keeping its shape, even though the individual cars are constantly moving through it. The spiral arms are cosmic traffic jams. As clouds of gas drift into these arms, they are compressed by the gravity of the stars already there. This compression gently squeezes the clouds until they collapse and ignite, giving birth to new stars. That is why the arms glow with a brilliant blue-white. They are the nurseries of the galaxy, the places where the young, hot stars are born. These stars burn bright and fierce, illuminating the arm they were born in, like lights strung along a festive garland. Our own sun was likely born in one of these arms long ago, in a cluster of siblings that has since drifted apart, scattering into the quiet stream of the galactic disk. Everything here is moving, but the pace is one of majestic slowness. The galaxy rotates. It spins around its center with a momentum that is almost impossible to comprehend. But because the distances are so vast, the motion feels like stillness to us. It takes the Sun roughly 250 million years to complete a single orbit around the galactic center. Let that timescale settle in your mind. 250 million years. The last time our solar system was in this exact position in its orbit, the Earth looked completely different. The continents were fused together. The first dinosaurs were just beginning to appear. Flowers had not yet evolved. The Atlantic Ocean did not exist. Since then, mountains have risen and worn down to hills. Oceans have opened and closed, and countless species have walked the Earth and vanished. And in all that time, the galaxy has turned only once. We are riding a carousel that turns so slowly that a single revolution spans entire geologic eras. It is a motion so grand that it functions as a kind of eternity. It reminds us that the universe is not in a hurry. It has time. It has so much time. And at the center of this great wheel lies the heart. If we were to drift inward, following the curve of the spiral arms toward the core, the sky would change. The stars would become more numerous, packed tighter and tighter together. The darkness between them would be replaced by a continuous glow. This is the galactic bulge, a dense, spherical swarm of ancient stars that have been circling the middle for billions of years. Here, the light is warmer, more golden. The blue fire of the young stars in the arms gives way to the steady amber radiance of the elders. And deep within this crowded brilliance, hidden behind thick curtains of interstellar dust, lies the pivot point of the entire galaxy. It is a supermassive black hole known as Sagittarius A. But do not let the name or the old stories frighten you. In the sleepy language of the stars, a black hole is not a monster. It is a silent conductor. It is a singular point of immense gravity, a heart of profound quiet that holds the galaxy together. It does not devour aimlessly. It anchors. It sits in the darkness, and the stars dance around it in long, graceful ellipses, like courtiers circling a throne. It is a presence of absolute stability. It is the heavy stone at the bottom of the well that keeps the water centered. It pulls the stars into a slow, relentless and graceful dance, ensuring that the galaxy retains its shape across the eons. But viewing this from the inside presents a unique challenge. Counting stars from Earth is like trying to understand the shape of a vast city while standing in the middle of a single narrow street, surrounded by buildings, fog, and the glare of streetlights. We cannot step back and take a photo of the whole thing. We cannot see the spiral arms curving away from us on the other side of the core. We are embedded. Our view is blocked by the very things that make the galaxy beautiful. Interstellar dust, fine grains of carbon and silicate drifting in the cold spaces between stars, acts like smoke. It scatters the light of distant stars, hiding vast sections of the Milky Way from our eyes. When you see the dark patches in the Milky Way band on a clear night, you are not seeing empty space. You are seeing these clouds of dust silhouetted against the fire of the stars behind them. They are shadows cast by the galaxy against itself. Because of this, astronomers have to be like detectives. They cannot simply count what they see. They have to use other kinds of eyes. They use infrared telescopes that can peer through the dust as if it were glass, revealing the warm glow of hidden stars on the other side. They use radio waves to map the motion of cold gas, tracing the invisible skeleton of the spiral arms. They build the map of our home from the inside out, piecing together clues, measuring the speed of nearby stars, and inferring the shape of the whole. It is a slow, patient accumulation of knowledge. It is an act of listening to the faint whispers of light that manage to thread their way through the dust to reach us. And what they find is abundance. When we ask how many stars are in this single city, the numbers begin to stretch the mind. We are not talking about thousands anymore, or even millions. The Milky Way alone, just this one spiral island, is home to somewhere between 100 billion and 400 billion stars, 100 billion suns. Imagine a single grain of sand. Now imagine a handful. Now imagine a beach. The Milky Way contains a star for every second that has ticked by in 3,000 years. And each of those stars is a sun, a massive sphere of plasma, perhaps with its own family of planets, its own quiet moons. Some are massive blue giants that burn hot and fast, living lives of dramatic intensity before returning their substance to the galaxy. Others are tiny red dwarfs, smaller than our sun but far more numerous, burning their fuel so slowly that they will glow for trillions of years, outlasting everything else in the universe. These small, dim stars are the silent majority, the quiet citizens of the galaxy that we can barely see, yet they make up the bulk of its population. And they are all bound together. They are all drifting through the vacuum in the same direction, held by the same gravity, part of the same great turning structure. To be here on Earth is to be a passenger on this ship. We are not separate from the Milky Way. The iron in our blood and the calcium in our bones were forged in the hearts of stars that lived and died in these spiral arms long before the sun was born. We are made of the galaxy. We are a piece of it that has woken up and learned to look around. So as you rest, picture yourself inside this safe, gigantic spiral. You are protected by layers of light and dust. You are moving in a slow, ancient circle that takes an eternity to close. You are surrounded by hundreds of billions of neighbors, each a star, each a story, all floating together in the great dark ocean of space. The view from the inside is crowded, complex and beautiful, but as vast as the Milky Way is, as overwhelming as its hundreds of billions of stars may seem, we must now prepare for a realization that changes everything. This city is not the only city. It is just one island in an archipelago that stretches farther than the mind can reach. As we drift toward the edge of our galaxy, looking out into the true blackness beyond, we begin to see the faint smudges that tell us we are not alone. But there is a secret hidden within that light, a quiet truth that changes the texture of the galaxy completely once you understand it. When we look out at the Milky Way, or even when we gaze at the constellations that feel so familiar, we naturally assume that what we see is what is there. We see the brilliant blue-white beacons of Orion, the piercing diamond light of Sirius, and the steady glow of the North Star, and we imagine that these are the typical citizens of the universe. We imagine that most stars are like our sun, or perhaps even grander, blazing furiously against the dark. But this is not the case. The stars we can see with our naked eyes are the exceptions. They are the celebrities of the galaxy, the rare giants that shout their presence across hundreds of light years. They are massive, energetic, and brilliant, consuming their fuel with a voracious intensity that ensures they will burn out relatively quickly in the grand scheme of cosmic time. If the galaxy were a city, these would be the floodlights atop the tallest skyscrapers. But a city is not made of floodlights. It is made of millions of smaller, quieter lights, candles in windows, street lamps on quiet corners, the soft glow of reading lights. The true population of the Milky Way, the silent majority that fills the darkness around us, consists of stars that are entirely invisible to the unaided eye. These are the red dwarfs. They are the humble, enduring embers of the cosmos. They are much smaller than our sun, often having only a fraction of its mass, and they are much cooler, glowing with a soft, ruddy orange light that barely ripples through the vacuum. Because they are so dim, they do not push their light forcefully across the void. Even the nearest red dwarf to Earth, Proxima Centauri, which sits right next door in cosmic terms, is completely invisible to us without a telescope. It is there, watching us from the darkness just over 4 light years away. But its voice is too soft to be heard by human eyes. And yet, these small stars are everywhere. Astronomers estimate that for every massive, bright star we see, there are hundreds of these red dwarfs hiding in the background. They swarm through the spiral arms like bees in a garden, vastly outnumbering the showy flowers. If our eyes were sensitive enough to see them all, the night sky would look radically different. It would not be a tapestry of scattered diamonds on black velvet. It would be a dense, glowing haze of red dust, a crowded field of rubies filling every gap between the brighter constellations. The emptiness of space is actually filled with this hidden census, a population of quiet neighbors we rarely acknowledge. There is something profoundly comforting about the nature of these small stars. Because they are small, they do not burn their fuel with the reckless abandon of the giants. They sip it. They manage their energy with an efficiency that is almost biological. Inside their cores, the fusion of hydrogen happens at a gentle, steady pace, just enough to keep the star from collapsing, just enough to keep it warm. Because of this slow, measured existence, red dwarfs live for lengths of time that defy comprehension. A massive blue star might live for only a few million years before exploding. Our own sun, a medium-sized yellow star, will live for perhaps 10 or 12 billion years before it fades. But a red dwarf can live for trillions of years. Let that scale settle into your thoughts. Trillions. The universe itself is only about 13.8 billion years old. That means that every single red dwarf that has ever been born since the dawn of time is still alive today. Not one of them has died of old age yet. They are the infants of the universe, and yet they will be its elders. Long after our sun has expanded and faded into a white ghost, long after the bright constellations of our era have distorted and vanished, the red dwarfs will still be there. They will continue to shine with their steady, ruddy light, keeping watch over the galaxy for eons to come. They are the long-term memory of the cosmos, the keepers of the flame who will carry the story of light into the deep, deep future. And as we drift deeper into this hidden census, we find objects that are even quieter, objects that blur the line between a star. These are the brown dwarfs. Astronomers sometimes call them failed stars, but that feels like a harsh judgment for such peaceful entities. It is better to think of them as the almost stars. They formed just like stars do, gathering gas and dust from the interstellar clouds, collapsing under their own gravity. But they never quite gathered enough mass to ignite the full, self-sustaining fires of nuclear fusion. They stopped just short of that threshold. They are too large to be planets, but too small to be true stars. They sit in the twilight between categories. Brown dwarfs do not shine with visible light. To our eyes, they would be dark, magenta-hued spheres, perhaps banded with storms like Jupiter, drifting alone in the void. They glow only in the infrared, emitting the faint heat of their formation. They are like stones that have been heated in a fire and then set out to cool in the night air. They drift through the galaxy in vast numbers, perhaps as numerous as the stars themselves, floating in the spaces between solar systems, unattached, untethered, and unseen. They are the drifters of the Milky Way. Some may have their own small systems of moons orbiting them in the dark, worlds that will never know a sunrise, only a warm, glowing presence in their sky. These objects remind us that the universe is not just made of the bright and the dramatic. It is filled with the subtle, the intermediate, and the dim. It is full of things that simply exist without needing to announce themselves. And then there are the ghosts. When we take our census of the galaxy, we must also count the stars that have already finished their lives. The Milky Way has been churning out stars for over 13 billion years. Many of the early generations have long since perished, but stars rarely disappear completely. They leave remnants. They leave behind small, dense cores that act as monuments to what they once were. We call them white dwarfs and neutron stars. A white dwarf is the exposed heart of a star like our sun, a diamond-dense sphere of carbon and oxygen that glows with stored heat. It is no longer generating energy. It is simply cooling down, slowly fading over billions of years like a dying coal in a hearth. A neutron star is even denser, the compressed core of a giant that collapsed, packing the mass of a sun into a city-sized sphere. These remnants are scattered throughout the galaxy, hidden in the dark. They are the fossils of the Milky Way. When astronomers calculate the mass of our galaxy, when they try to understand how it moves and how it holds together, they have to include these invisible members of the choir. The gravity of the dead stars still tugs on the living ones. The past influences the present. The galaxy is a mixture of current light and ancient history, all bound together in the same gravitational dance. Understanding this hidden census changes the way we feel about the spaces between the stars. When you look up at a dark patch of sky, a place where it seems nothing exists, you now know that it is not truly empty. It is likely inhabited by red dwarfs burning quietly, by brown dwarfs cooling slowly, and by the remnants of stars that shone down on a galaxy before Earth even existed. The silence of space is not an absence. It is a fullness that we simply cannot see. It is a crowded room where the lights have been dimmed but the occupants are still there, breathing, moving, and existing. This realization brings a sense of heaviness to the galaxy, but it is a good heaviness. It is the weight of substance. The Milky Way is not a wispy cloud of light. It is a massive, substantial object, anchored by trillions of small, long-lived stars that form its foundation. It is built to last. It is a structure that prioritizes longevity over brilliance, endurance over display. And as we float here, suspended in the imagination of this crowded, invisible city, we begin to feel the limits of our own home. We have explored the spiral arms, we have acknowledged the bright giants, and we have honored the dim red multitudes. We have counted the billions upon billions of suns that make up this single galaxy. It feels immense. It feels like it should be everything. For a very long time, humanity believed that it was everything. We thought the Milky Way was the entire universe, that this island of stars was the sum total of existence, surrounded by an infinite, featureless void. It was a comforting thought to be contained within one great system. But the universe, in its quiet way, always offers more than we expect. As our vision improved, as we learned to build larger eyes and stare deeper into the dark, we began to notice that some of the clouds in the night sky were not clouds at all. They were not gas, and they were not dust. They were not part of our city. They were something else entirely. They were faint, spiral shapes drifting far beyond the edge of the Milky Way, hints that our island is not the only one in the ocean. We are about to leave the sanctuary of the home galaxy. We are about to let our perspective expand in a way that is almost dizzying, yet profoundly peaceful. We are about to discover that the 100 billion stars we have just met are merely the population of one house in a city filled with houses. The numbers are about to multiply, not by addition, but by dimension. Let us turn our gaze outward, away from the warm, dusty plain of the Milky Way, and look toward the deep, clear windows of intergalactic space. There, in the profound blackness, the faint smudges of light are waiting to tell us the next part of the story. Once we step outside the boundaries of our own galaxy, the scale of the universe shifts in a way that is difficult to describe, yet easy to feel. For centuries, when astronomers looked up at the night sky, they saw a dome sprinkled with stars, and here and there faint cloudy patches of light. They called these patches nebulae, a Latin word meaning simply mist or cloud. It was a gentle name for a mysterious phenomenon. In the telescopes of the past, these objects looked like small, luminous smudges, like fingerprints left on the lens of the universe. It was natural to assume that these mists belonged to us. We assumed they were part of the Milky Way, local clouds of gas drifting among the stars, perhaps forming new suns or simply reflecting the light of their neighbors. The Milky Way was thought to be the whole world, a singular island of light floating in an infinite empty ocean of darkness. This view was cozy. It suggested that everything that existed was contained within one great structure, one story that we were a part of. But as the glass of our telescopes grew wider and clearer, the mist began to resolve into something else. It refused to behave like a simple gas. Some of these clouds had structure. They had spiral arms, just like the Milky Way. They had dense, glowing cores. And most unsettling of all, they were incredibly faint. Far fainter than they should be if they were nearby residents of our own galaxy. There was a long period of quiet debate, a time when humanity stood on the threshold of a terrifying realization. Were these objects small and close, or were they massive and impossibly far away? The answer, when it finally arrived, did not come with a shout, but with a measurement of distance that shattered the ceiling of the sky. These were not clouds, they were galaxies. They were entire island universes, each one as vast and rich as the Milky Way, separated from us by gulfs of space so deep that the human mind struggles to span them. The faint spiral smudge in the constellation of Andromeda was not a cloud of gas. It was a swirling city of 1 trillion stars, a twin to our own home, drifting in the silence 2.5 million light years away. And suddenly, the universe was not one city. It was an archipelago. It was a vast sea filled with islands of light, stretching out in every direction as far as the eye could see. This realization changes the act of counting stars from a task of addition to a task of multiplication. We can no longer just count the suns in the Milky Way and stop there. We must now ask, how many galaxies are there? And for each galaxy we find, we must imagine another 100 billion stars. The numbers do not just climb, they explode outward, cascading into realms of quantity that cease to be mathematical and become almost spiritual. Imagine drifting away from the Milky Way now. As we pull back, our home galaxy, that immense spiral of hundreds of billions of stars, begins to shrink. It becomes a disk, then a coin of light, and finally, it too becomes just a smudge against the velvet black. As we turn our gaze to the rest of the cosmos, we see them. They are everywhere. They are scattered through the darkness like glowing dandelion seeds caught in a slow-motion breeze. And they are beautiful in their variety. Not all galaxies look like ours. The universe is an artist that never tires of experimenting with form. Some are spirals, pinwheels of blue and gold turning lazily in the deep. They are the queens of the cosmos, structured, elegant and fertile, constantly birthing new stars in their arms. But others are different. There are the great elliptical galaxies, massive spheres of light that look like fuzzy, glowing eggs. These are the ancient ones. They have largely stopped forming new stars. They are populated by old, red suns that have been burning for billions of years, swarming around the center like bees around a hive. These galaxies are calm, settled, and immensely heavy, the anchors of the cosmic web. And then there are the irregular galaxies. These are the chaotic, messy, wonderful children of the universe. They have no defined shape. They look like splashes of paint or like clouds torn apart by a storm. Often they are small, distorted by the gravity of a larger neighbor, or perhaps they are two galaxies caught in the slow, passionate act of merging. In these irregulars, star formation is often fierce and rapid, a burst of creation triggered by the turbulence of their lives. And let us not forget the dwarf galaxies. For every giant spiral, like the Milky Way, there are dozens of tiny dwarf galaxies hovering nearby, like moths circling a lantern. They are faint and ghostly, containing only a few million or billion stars. They are easy to overlook, yet they are the most common type of galaxy in the universe. They are the quiet villages that surround the great cities. This diversity matters deeply. When we try to count the stars, we cannot simply assume every galaxy is the same size as ours. We have to account for the giants and the dwarfs, the active and the passive. We have to understand the demographics of the deep sky. And as we look deeper, we find that these islands do not float randomly. They cluster. Gravity, that patient sculptor, has gathered them together over eons. The Milky Way belongs to a small gathering called the Local Group, a neighborhood of a few dozen galaxies dancing together in the dark. But looking farther out, we see clusters containing thousands of galaxies swarming together in a ball of light millions of light years across. These clusters are the largest gravitationally bound structures in the universe. Imagine standing in the center of one. The night sky would not be filled with individual stars, but with galaxies. Everywhere you looked, fuzzy patches of light would hang in the darkness, each one a system of billions of suns. The scale is so vast that it bends the mind. Yet the physics is simple. It is just gravity, pulling things together, creating order out of the void. But even between the islands, the space is not truly empty. Between the galaxies, in the immense hollow voids that stretch for hundreds of millions of light years, there is a profound silence, but it is not a dead silence. There are rogue stars out there, lonely travelers that have been flung from their home galaxies by the gravitational slingshot of a black hole or a collision. They drift alone in the intergalactic night, far from any neighbor. Imagine the view from a planet orbiting one of these rogue stars. The sky would be almost perfectly black. There would be no constellations, no bright band of the Milky Way. There would only be the deep, unending dark, perhaps punctuated by a few faint fuzzy patches, the distant glow of galaxies far away. It would be a solitude of the highest order. And yet, even there, a sun is burning, light is being made, and the universe is present. As we drift through this sea of islands, multiplying the numbers in our heads, hundreds of billions of galaxies, each with hundreds of billions of stars, we might expect to feel overwhelmed. We might expect to feel lost in the sheer quantity of it all. But there is a strange paradox that happens here. The more galaxies we find, the more the universe feels like a single, unified place. We see the same patterns repeating. We see the same elements: hydrogen, helium, carbon, oxygen, glowing in the spectrum of light from the farthest galaxies. We see the same gravity shaping the spirals billions of light years away as the gravity that shapes the water in a cup of tea on Earth. We are seeing a repetition of familiar laws on a grand stage. We are discovering that we are not a fluke. The Milky Way is not a rare accident. It is a standard feature of the cosmos. The universe is a machine for making galaxies. It does it efficiently, repeatedly, and beautifully. It fills the void with structure. This means that while we are small, we are also typical. We are part of the main fabric of reality. And just when we think we have grasped the scale of this archipelago, just when we think we understand the number of islands in the sea, the universe offers one more deepening of the mystery. We realize that what we can see is limited by something we cannot control. We are looking out through a window that is only so large. We are looking out into a universe that is not just a collection of objects in space, but a collection of moments in time. The light from these distant islands has taken millions, sometimes billions of years to reach us. We are not just looking at a map, we are looking at a history book. And as we turn the pages backward, looking deeper into the dark, we are about to discover that the universe has not always been the same. We are about to begin a journey not just through space, but through time itself. Let us prepare to drift further, past the nearby spirals and the great clusters, into the deep field where the light is old, tired, and red. There is a particular kind of silence that exists only when we are waiting for something to reveal itself from the dark. It is the silence of the held breath, the patience of the hunter, or the stillness of a listener trying to catch a whisper in a crowded room. In the story of Counting the Stars, this silence finds its most profound expression in an image that changed the world, not by showing us something new, but by showing us what was hiding in the nothingness. To understand this, we must imagine the act of looking not as a glance, but as a vigil. When we look at the night sky with our eyes, or even with ordinary telescopes, we sweep across it. We look for the bright objects. We look for the planets, the nebulae, the recognizable clusters. We are drawn to the light. But a few decades ago, astronomers decided to do something that seemed, at first, almost foolish. They decided to look at the dark. They chose a tiny patch of sky that appeared to be completely empty. It was a speck of darkness near the handle of the Big Dipper, a region devoid of bright stars, devoid of known galaxies, devoid of dust clouds. To the naked eye, it was a blank void. To ground-based telescopes, it was a featureless patch of black. It was a piece of the night that seemed to contain absolutely nothing. And they decided to point the most powerful telescope humanity had ever built, the Hubble Space Telescope, at this emptiness. And they did not just take a picture. They told the telescope to stare. They opened the shutter and left it open. They let the telescope float in the quiet vacuum of orbit, fixed on that single, unassuming point of darkness, for 10 consecutive days. This is the astronomical equivalent of staring at a blank wall for a week, waiting for a door to appear. It was an act of profound faith in the richness of the universe. It was a gamble that if we looked deep enough, if we looked long enough, the darkness would stop being dark. The process of this observation is hypnotic to think about. We are used to photography being instant, a click, a flash, a captured moment. But deep space photography is not like that. It is a slow accumulation. It is like collecting rain in a desert. The light from the farthest objects in the universe is not a stream. It is a trickle. It arrives photon by photon, individual packets of energy that have traveled for billions of years across the expanding stretch of the cosmos. They have dodged galaxies. They have passed through clouds of intergalactic gas. They have survived the stretching of space itself. And finally, after a journey longer than the age of the Earth, they arrive at the mirror of the telescope, one photon. Then, seconds or minutes later, another, then another. Drop by drop, the light accumulates on the detector. It is a long, slow drink of starlight. Over the course of those 10 days, the telescope orbited the Earth 150 times, but it kept its gaze locked on that one tiny keyhole of darkness. It gathered the light that was too faint to be seen in an hour or a day. It gathered the ghosts. And when the image was finally processed, when the data was stacked and the noise was filtered out, the result was not black. It was not empty. It was a jewel box, that tiny speck of nothing, no larger than a grain of sand, held at arm's length against the sky, was exploding with light. It was crowded. It was teeming. In that single, minuscule patch of sky, The telescope revealed not a handful of stars, but thousands of galaxies. 3,000 of them. They were everywhere, filling the frame from corner to corner. There were spirals like our own, hanging like delicate ornaments in the deep. There were ellipticals, glowing like soft golden balls of cotton. There were strange distorted shapes, galaxies caught in the act of merging, galaxies shredded by gravity, fragments of light that looked like commas and exclamation points written on the background of the night. And the colors were a revelation. There were the blue and white of young, active galaxies burning with fierce new stars. There were the yellow and orange of the mature civilizations of stars. And there, in the background, visible only as the faintest, tiniest specks of deep red, were the ancients. These were galaxies so far away that their light had been stretched by the expansion of the universe until it shifted into the infrared. They were the toddlers of the cosmos, seen as they were when the universe was less than 1 billion years old. The image, known as the Hubble Deep Field, is perhaps the most humbling photograph ever taken. It destroyed the concept of emptiness. It proved that the darkness between the stars is not a void. It is simply a canvas waiting for us to develop the eyes to see it. If you were to take that grain of sand and move it to any other part of the sky, the result would be the same. The universe is isotropic. It looks roughly the same in every direction. That means that no matter where you look, if you look deep enough, you will find this same density, this same crowding, this same overwhelming abundance. Every patch of sky, every dark corner of the night is a tunnel that leads to thousands of galaxies. If you hold up your thumb and block out a piece of the sky, you are covering millions of galaxies. You are eclipsing trillions of stars. You are blocking the light of civilizations, of histories, of worlds that we will never know. There is a kind of vertigo in this realization, a dizziness that comes from the sheer scale of the numbers. If that one grain of sand patch contains 3,000 galaxies, and the sky is filled with millions of such patches, then the total count of galaxies in the observable universe rises into the hundreds of billions, perhaps trillions. And remember, each of those galaxies is a city of its own, containing its own hundreds of billions of stars. The multiplication becomes a cascade. The numbers lose their edges and become a smooth, vast feeling of more than we can count, more than we can hold. But there is also a deep peace in this deep field. It tells us that we are never truly looking at nothing. When you lie in bed at night and close your eyes, you are not surrounded by emptiness. You are surrounded by a universe that is packed with presence. The walls of your room, the roof of your house, the atmosphere of the earth. These are just thin veils. Beyond them, in every direction, the cosmos is full. It is a heavy blanket of existence. It wraps around us completely. There are no gaps in the fabric. Even in the voids between the great clusters, where galaxies are rare, there is still matter, there is still energy, there is still the potential for light. This image also reshapes our understanding of the past. When we look at the deep field, we are not seeing a snapshot of the universe as it is now. We are seeing a core sample of time. The large, bright galaxies in the foreground are relatively nearby, seen as they were perhaps 1 billion years ago. The smaller, fainter ones are farther away, seen as they were 5 billion years ago. And the tiniest red smudges are seen as they were 10 or 12 billion years ago. In one single image, we are seeing the history of the universe laid out like geological strata. We are seeing the evolution of form. We can see how the small, messy, chaotic blobs of the early universe slowly merged and settled and spun themselves into the majestic spirals and ellipticals of the modern era. We are watching the universe grow up. It is a family portrait of the cosmos, with the youngest generations in the back and the oldest in the front, or rather, the other way around in time, but appearing this way in space. It shows us that star formation was different back then. The early universe was a frantic, busy place, with stars being born at rates far higher than today. The sky was brighter, hotter, more violent. We live in a quieter time now, a middle age of the universe where things have settled down, where stars burn steadily and galaxies cruise calmly through the dark. The deep field invites us to rest in this long view. It tells us that the universe has been doing this for a very, very long time. It was making stars long before the Earth formed. It was organizing galaxies long before the first eye opened to see them. It does not need us to manage it. It does not need us to wind the clock. It has a momentum that is ancient and inexhaustible. And the patience of that telescope, floating in the silence, staring at the dark for days on end, is a model for us. It teaches us that some things cannot be rushed. Some beauty can only be seen if we are willing to wait, willing to be still, willing to let the signal accumulate slowly. In our daily lives, we are used to the bright and the loud. We are used to things that grab our attention immediately. But the deep field reminds us that the most profound things are often the faintest. They are the things that require us to shut out the noise, to find a quiet patch of nothing, and just stare into it until the light begins to arrive. So as you drift deeper into relaxation, imagine that you are that telescope. You are floating weightless in the calm, black sea of sleep. You are letting go of the need to scan, to search, to identify. You are simply opening the shutter of your mind and letting the quiet pour in. You do not need to seek out the stars. They are already there, filling every corner of the dark, waiting for you to simply receive them. The darkness behind your closed eyelids is not empty. It is just deep. It is a space capable of holding everything. And as we soak in this abundance, we begin to realize that the light we are collecting is not just brightness, it is information. It is a message. And the most important part of that message is about time. Because in space, you cannot look anywhere without looking back. Every view is a view of the past. The farther we look, the older the light. We are about to step into the fourth dimension of our journey. We are going to explore the idea that the night sky is not a flat ceiling, but a deep flowing river of time. We are going to learn why counting stars is actually counting ghosts, and why that is one of the most beautiful thoughts you can carry into your dreams. There is a quiet assumption we make when we open our eyes, one so fundamental that we rarely think to question it. We assume that what we see is happening right now. When you look at a tree across the room or a person sitting next to you, you are seeing them in the present moment. The light bounces off them and reaches your eyes so instantly that for all practical human purposes, there is no delay. Perception and reality feel synchronized. The moment of happening and the moment of seeing are fused together into a single now. But as we drift upward, leaving the intimate scale of the room and the planet behind, this synchronization begins to fracture. We enter a realm where now is a flexible, fluid concept, and where the act of looking becomes an act of time travel. The night sky is not a window into the present. It is a deep, layered archive of the past. It is a time machine that works not by transporting your body backward, but by bringing the history of the universe forward to you, carried on the back of a beam of light. This happens because light, for all its unimaginable speed, it is fast. 300,000 kilometers per second, but it is finite. It has a speed limit. It has to travel. And in a universe as vast as ours, travel takes time. When you look at the moon, you are not seeing the moon as it is this second. You are seeing it as it was about 1.3 seconds ago. There is a tiny, imperceptible heartbeat of delay. It is the time it took for the light to cross the gap between the cratered surface and your retina when you look at the sun. Though we should never look directly. We are bathed in light that is 8 minutes and 20 seconds old. If the sun were to suddenly, quietly go dark, we would not know it for over 8 minutes. We would continue to feel its warmth and see its light, living in a golden ghost moment that no longer exists at the source. We live 8 minutes in the past relative to our own star, but as we move to the stars, the delay deepens from minutes into years. The nearest star system to us, Alpha Centauri, is over 4 light years away. When you look toward it, you are seeing light that left its surface 4 years ago. You are seeing it as it was when you were 4 years younger. That light has been streaming silently through the void while you lived your life, while seasons changed, while tides rose and fell, only arriving just now to tell you what happened there back then. As your gaze sweeps across the winter sky to the bright blue giant Sirius, you are looking 8 years into the past. Look at the red eye of Taurus, the star Aldebaran, and you are looking back 65 years. You are seeing light that was emitted perhaps before you were born, traveling patiently across the dark to meet you tonight. Look deeper still to the 3 stars of Orion's belt, standing in that perfect, bright row. They are over 1,000 light years away. The light you see tonight began its journey when humanity was in the Middle Ages. It left those blue hot surfaces at a time when maps were incomplete, when vast oceans had not yet been crossed, when the world was lit by fire. That light has passed through centuries of silence, untouched by the noise of history, carrying the image of a medieval star to a modern eye. This means the night sky is not a single image. It is a collage. It is a mosaic of different times, stitched together by the speed of light. When you look up, you are seeing thousands of different eras, all at once. You are seeing a star from 10 years ago sitting right next to a star from 1,000 years ago, sitting next to a galaxy from 1,000,000 years ago. They appear to be resting together on the same flat surface of the dark, but in reality, they are separated by vast canyons of time. The sky is a map of history. It is a museum where the exhibits are not statues or bones, but moments of light, preserved perfectly across the eons. This realization transforms the feeling of the night. It adds a vertical dimension to the dark. You are not just looking up, you are looking back. You are peering down a long, dark tunnel. The farther you look, the deeper into the past you go. And when we turn our eyes to the galaxies, the time machine shifts into high gear. The Andromeda Galaxy, that faint smudge we can see with the naked eye on a clear night, is 2.5 million light years away. The light you see from it left its stars when early humans were just beginning to walk upright on the plains of Africa. That light has been traveling for the entire duration of the human species' existence. It has crossed the intergalactic void while ice ages came and went, while civilizations rose and fell, while languages were invented and forgotten. And it arrives tonight, carrying a picture of a galaxy that is 2.5 million years out of date. We do not know what Andromeda looks like today. We will not know for another 2.5 million years. We only know what it looked like then. And for the galaxies in the deep field, those tiny red specks we spoke of earlier, the delay is billions of years. We are seeing them as they were when the Earth was just forming, or even before. We are seeing the universe as a toddler. We are watching the primordial fires that burned when the cosmos was young and wild. This leads to a thought that is both strange and strangely comforting. The stars we see are ghosts. Because stars live for so long, millions or billions of years, most of the stars we see in the sky are likely still there, physically present, burning away. But for the most distant ones, or the very massive ones that burn fast and die young, it is possible that they are already gone. A bright star in a distant galaxy may have exploded 1,000 years ago. It may have collapsed into a black hole or faded into a nebula. But because the news of its death travels only at the speed of light, we have not received the message yet. To us, it is still shining. We can still see it. We can still navigate by it. We can still wish upon it. Its light is still real, even if its source has vanished. The universe holds onto the memory of the star, carrying it forward through the dark, keeping it alive for us long after it has departed. In the sky, nothing is ever truly lost immediately. Everything has an echo. Everything has a long, slow fade. There is a gentle philosophy in this delay. In our daily lives, we are often obsessed with the immediate. We want real-time updates. We want instant connection. We worry about the future and regret the past. But the sky forces us to engage with a different kind of time. It forces us to engage with deep time. Deep time is slow. It is forgiving. It reminds us that the present moment is just the leading edge of a very long wave. When you look at a star, you are connecting with a moment that happened long ago, and yet that moment is having an effect on you right now. It is touching your retina. It is sparking a thought in your mind. The past is active. It is not dead and gone. It is radiating. This perspective softens the sharp edges of now. It makes our own timeline feel less urgent. If the light from Orion has taken 1,000 years to get here, it does not mind if we take a few minutes to appreciate it. The universe is not in a rush to update its status. It is content to let the news travel slowly. Telescopes, then, are not just cameras. They are archaeological tools. They dig into the layers of light. When astronomers want to know how the universe began, they do not need to build a simulation or guess. They just need to look farther away. They need to look deeper into the dark. If they look far enough, they can see the era of galaxy formation. If they look further, they can see the era of the first stars. They are literally watching the history of the world unfold, not in a book, but in the sky itself. It is as if you could look down a street and see your neighbors in their houses. But the farther down the street you looked, the younger the neighbors appeared, until at the very end of the block, you saw babies being born. You cannot separate them. To be distant is to be ancient. To be close is to be recent. We are trapped in a bubble of the present, surrounded by layers of the past. And there is a final, beautiful implication of the time machine. It means that we too are broadcasting a signal into the future. the light reflected from our planet, the faint radio waves from our broadcasts, the heat of our sun, all of it is streaming outward into the galaxy. Someone on a planet around a star 100 light-years away, if they had a telescope powerful enough, would not see us as we are tonight. They would see the Earth of 100 years ago. They would see a world without the internet, a world of steam and early electricity. Someone 1,000 light-years away would see an Earth without electric lights at all, a planet of campfires and torches. Someone 65 million light-years away, in a distant galaxy looking at the Milky Way with an impossibly powerful instrument, would not see humans. They would see dinosaurs roaming a green, humid planet. We are not just observers of history. We are creators of it. We are sending our own ghost light out into the dark, a message that says, we were here, we existed, we shone. And that message will travel for millions of years, long after we are gone, rippling through the silence, waiting to be caught by an eye or a mirror in the deep future. So as you rest here, traveling without moving, consider the stars above you not as cold, distant fires, but as old letters. They are notes written on the fabric of space-time, mailed ages ago, arriving in your mailbox tonight. They are warm greetings from the past. I was here, says the light of Sirius. I burned bright, says the light of Orion. I was young once, says the light of the distant galaxies. You are being read to by the universe. It is telling you its story, chapter by chapter, photon by photon. And it is a very long story. It is a story that has no need to rush to the ending. But every story has a beginning, and every view has a horizon. As we look deeper and deeper, pushing the time machine to its limit, back past the stars, back past the galaxies, back past the first fires, we eventually reach a wall. We reach a point where the light stops. We reach the edge of what can be seen. We are approaching the horizon of the universe. Not the edge of space, for space may go on forever, but the edge of time, the limit of our vision, the place where the library of light ends and the mystery begins. Every journey has a limit, not because the road ends, but because the traveler can only see so far. We have drifted outward from the Earth, past the Moon, through the spiral arms of the Milky Way, and into the deep ocean of galaxies. We have learned to use light as a time machine, peering back through the eons to witness the younger days of the cosmos. But now, as we push our vision to the absolute extreme, looking as deep into the dark as physics allows, we encounter a boundary. It is not a wall of stone or a fence of energy. It is a horizon. Just as a ship in the middle of a vast, calm ocean sits at the center of a circle of water defined by the curve of the Earth, we sit at the center of a sphere of light, defined by the age of the universe. This sphere has a name. We call it the Observable Universe. This name is one of the most important and humble phrases in all of science. It acknowledges a simple, quiet truth. We cannot see everything. The universe has been expanding for about 13.8 billion years. That is a long time, but it is a finite amount of time. And because light travels at a finite speed, there is a maximum distance from which light has had enough time to reach us since the beginning. Any star, any galaxy, any flicker of energy that lies beyond that distance is currently invisible to us. Its light is still on the way. It is racing toward us through the void, covering millions of kilometers every second, but it is not arrived yet. It is like a letter that is still in the mail, or a sound that is still traveling through the air. Until it arrives, for us, it effectively does not exist. This creates a bubble of reality. We live inside this bubble. Everything we have counted so far, the planets, the stars, the nebula, the billions of galaxies in the deep field, all of it resides inside this sphere. It is the illuminated portion of the cosmos. It is the part of the room where the lamp is shining. But the room itself is almost certainly much, much larger. When we ask, how many stars are in the universe? We are usually asking, how many stars are in this bubble? The answer to that is staggering, tens of sextillions, but it is likely only a tiny fraction of the true total. Beyond the horizon, the universe continues. We have no reason to believe that space simply stops at the edge of our vision. The laws of physics do not suggest a sudden cliff where reality falls off into nothingness. Instead, astronomers believe that beyond the horizon, there are simply more galaxies, more spirals turning in the dark, more ellipticals glowing with ancient red light, more stars being born and dying in privacy, disconnected from us by the sheer scale of space. They are out there, living their lives in a separate causal patch of the cosmos, forever beyond our reach. We cannot affect them, and they cannot affect us. This realization brings a profound sense of smallness, but also a sense of mystery. We are not masters of the universe. We are inhabitants of a local patch. We are standing on a small hill, looking out as far as we can, knowing that the landscape extends far beyond the horizon, filled with valleys and mountains we will never map. But this horizon is not just about distance. It is also about the nature of the beginning. If we look back far enough, past the farthest galaxies, past the first stars, we eventually hit a different kind of barrier. We reach a time in the universe's history when there were no stars. Imagine traveling back before the galaxies formed, back before the first sun ignited. You would find yourself in a universe that was smaller, hotter, and denser. It was not a vacuum then. It was a fog. In those earliest moments, the universe was filled with a hot, glowing plasma, a soup of particles so dense that light could not travel freely through it. It was like being inside a cloud or inside the heart of a star. If you were there, you would see a blinding, uniform glow in every direction. Photons of light would bounce around, trapped in the fog, unable to stream outward. We cannot see past this fog. No telescope, no matter how powerful, can look back to a time before the fog cleared. This creates a surface of last scattering, a wall of fire that marks the limit of our optical vision. We see this wall today not as light, but as a faint cold hum of microwave radiation coming from every direction in the sky. We call it the cosmic microwave background. It is the oldest light in the universe. It is the afterglow of the Big Bang itself, stretched and cooled by 13 billion years of expansion until it is barely a whisper. It stands as the ultimate curtain at the edge of the stage. Behind it lies the mystery of the very beginning, hidden from view. So, the observable horizon is a boundary in both space and time. It marks the distance beyond which light has not yet reached us, and the time before which light could not travel. It defines the edges of our knowledge. And yet, this boundary is not static. It is a living, moving thing, because the universe is getting older every day. Light from farther and farther away is constantly arriving. The horizon is expanding. Every second that ticks by the observable universe grows a little bit larger. New light crosses the finish line. New information enters our bubble. It is a slow, quiet expansion. We do not notice it on a human timescale. The sky does not suddenly populate with new stars overnight, but over millions of years, the view improves. Future observers living on an Earth eons from now will be able to see galaxies that are currently hidden from us. They will have a larger library of light to read. There is a gentle hope in that thought. It means the story is not finished. We have not seen the final frame. The universe is still revealing itself to us, patience by patience, photon by photon. However, there is a counterforce at work, one that adds a bittersweet note to this expansion. While the horizon grows because time is passing, the space between the galaxies is also expanding. The universe is stretching, and it is stretching faster and faster. This means that very distant galaxies, those right near the edge of our vision, are being carried away from us by the expansion of space. They are like runners on a track that is lengthening beneath their feet. Eventually, they will move so fast that their light can no longer catch up to us. They will slip behind the horizon. They will fade from view, not because they have ceased to exist, but because they have moved beyond the reach of connection. This interplay between time and expansion makes the observable horizon a dynamic, breathing edge. It is a balance between arrival and departure. It reminds us that our view of the heavens is a privilege of this specific moment in cosmic history. We live in a golden age of astronomy, a time when the universe is transparent enough to see the distant past, but not so old that the expansion has pushed everything away. We are lucky to be here, now, looking up. And what lies beyond the horizon? We can only speculate. We can model and theorize, but we cannot measure. Some physicists suggest that the universe beyond our bubble looks much the same as it does inside, an endless repetition of galaxies and voids, stretching on forever. If that is true, then the number of stars is truly infinite. It is not just a large number, it is a number without end. Others suggest the universe might curve back on itself, or that the physical laws might change in distant regions. But for the sleepy mind, for the mind seeking rest, the most comforting answer is simply more. There is just more. There is a vastness that does not need us to witness it. There are stars burning right now that no human eye will ever see, and no telescope will ever record. They are shining for themselves. They are holding their own planets in warm gravitational embraces. They are casting shadows on worlds we will never walk upon. This unobserved existence is not a tragedy. It is a relief. It lifts the burden of being the center of things. It tells us that the universe is not a show put on for our benefit. It is a wild, independent reality that exists for its own sake. We are just guests in one small corner of the banquet hall, able to see the table around us, but sensing the laughter and the conversation extending far down the room into the shadows. So, when we count the stars, we must always add a quiet asterisk. We say there are 200 billion trillion stars that we can see. The rest are secrets. The rest belongs to the silence. And as we float here at the edge of the observable, hovering near the wall of ancient fog, looking back toward the center where our tiny spiral home is spinning, we feel the full weight of the journey. We have gone from the grass of our backyard to the edge of the bubble. We have counted from 1 to infinity. We have turned the lights on in the dark room of the cosmos, only to find that the room is bigger than the light. The mind, having stretched this far, begins to tire. The scale is too big to hold for long. The numbers lose their meaning and turn into a soft white noise. The concepts of billions of years and gigaparsecs start to blur together into a gentle rocking rhythm. It is time to turn back. It is time to take all this vastness, the spinning spirals, the hidden red dwarfs, the ancient ghosts, the expanding horizon, and bring it back down to a scale we can hold in our hands. It is time to translate the infinite back into the intimate. We need to understand what all this starlight has to do with us. We need to find our own reflection in the mirror of the deep sky. For we are not just observers of the stars. We are, in a very literal sense, their children. There is a moment, usually somewhere in the middle of a long night, when numbers stop helping. The mind, having stretched itself across billions of light years, having drifted through the spiral arms and stared into the deep field, begins to feel a gentle fatigue. Trillions, quadrillions, sextillions. The zeros pile up like snowdrifts, blurring together until they lose their meaning. We cannot hold these quantities. We cannot picture a billion of anything, let alone a septillion. The human brain was built to count apples, or members of a tribe, or days in a season. It was not built to tally the inventory of the cosmos. And so, when the scale becomes too large to grasp, we reach for something else. We reach for a comparison. We reach for something solid, something we can touch, something that feels familiar to our skin. We reach for the sand. You have likely heard the saying before. It is one of the most famous sentences in all of science, a kind of modern proverb that is whispered in classrooms and planetariums around the world. There are more stars in the universe than there are grains of sand on all the beaches on Earth. It is a sentence that sounds definitive. It sounds comforting, as if it pins the unfathomable nature of the sky to something we can hold in our hands. But tonight, let us not just say the sentence, let us inhabit it. Let us walk into the metaphor and see what it truly feels like. Let your mind drift away from the cold vacuum of space and descend gently back to the surface of the Earth. Find yourself standing on a quiet beach at night. The air is cool and salty. The rhythm of the ocean is steady, a slow, hypnotic crashing of waves that sounds like the breathing of the planet. It is dark, but the foam of the water glows faintly in the starlight. You are walking near the water's edge, where the sand is packed and cool. Stop for a moment. Look down. Even in the dark, you can feel the texture beneath your feet. Reach down and scoop up a handful of sand. Feel the weight of it in your palm. It is heavy, dense, and granular. Rub your thumb across your fingers. You can feel the friction of the individual grains. Tiny, hard shards of silica, quartz, and shell, ground down by the ocean over millions of years. Now, open your hand and let the sand spill out. Watch it pour through your fingers in a thin, steady stream, falling back to the beach with a soft hiss. How many grains were in that single handful? Thousands? Tens of thousands? It is impossible to count them as they fall. They are too small, too numerous. And that was just one handful. Now, look down the beach. See how it stretches away into the darkness, a ribbon of pale grey curving along the coast for miles. Imagine walking that entire distance, scooping up handful after handful. Imagine digging down, past the dry surface layer, into the damp, packed sand beneath, deep down to the bedrock. Now, expand your imagination further. Leave this beach and travel in your mind to every other beach on Earth. The white sands of the tropics, the black volcanic sands of islands, the rocky grey sands of the northern coasts. Imagine the vast dunes of the Sahara, where sand stretches in waves like a frozen yellow ocean for thousands of miles. Imagine the Gobi, the Kalahari, the Australian outback. Imagine the riverbeds, the deltas, and the sediment resting silently on the floor of the deepest oceans. Think of every single grain, every tiny microscopic particle of rock that exists on the surface of this planet. Scientists have tried to estimate this number. They have calculated the volume of the world's beaches and deserts and multiplied it by the average size of a grain. The number they arrive at is staggering. It is something like 7.5 quintillion grains. That is a 7 followed by 18 zeros. It is a number so large that it feels like infinity to us. If you were to count 1 grain per second, it would take you lifetimes upon lifetimes to finish even a small bucket. And yet, the stars win. When we take that number, that quintessential number of earthly abundance, and place it on the scale next to the stars, the sand is outweighed effortlessly. Astronomers estimate that in the observable universe, there are roughly 10 times as many stars as there are grains of sand on Earth. Some estimates suggest even more, perhaps 100 times more. For every single grain of sand you could hold in your hand, there are 10 suns burning somewhere in the dark. For every grain in the Sahara, there are 10 solar systems. For every grain hiding at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, there are 10 stars shining in a galaxy we will never see. This realization creates a strange sensation in the mind. It is a feeling of vertigo, but a gentle one. It forces us to confront the fact that our symbol for infinity, the sand, is actually quite small. The Earth is small. The beach is small. The desert is small. But the comparison is not meant to make us feel insignificant. It is meant to make us feel the texture of abundance. Think about what a grain of sand actually is. It is a tiny, inert piece of rock. It sits there. It does not generate energy. It does not hold planets in orbit. It does not warm a world. It is just matter, resting in gravity. Now think about what a star is. A star is a furnace. It is a massive, roaring sphere of plasma, often 1,000,000 times larger than the Earth itself. It is a complex engine of nuclear fusion, crushing atoms together to create light and heat. It is a storm of magnetic fields and solar winds. To say that there are more stars than sand grains is not just a statement about numbers, it is a statement about power. It tells us that the universe is not mostly empty space with a few scattered lights. It is a place where the most colossal engines of energy are as common as dirt. It tells us that nature is not frugal. The universe did not make just enough stars to light the sky. It made them in excess. It made them with a generosity that borders on the wasteful. It filled every corner of the dark with potential suns, scattering them with the same casual abandon that the ocean scatters sand on the shore. This comparison also bridges the gap between the human and the cosmic. We have all touched sand. We have all felt it stick to our skin, gotten it caught in our clothes, shaken it out of our shoes. It is one of the most tactile, familiar substances in our lives. By linking the stars to the sand, we bring the heavens down to earth. We give the mind a handhold. When you look at a picture of a galaxy now, you don't have to think of abstract math. You can think of a dune. You can think of a handful of shimmering dust. You can understand that the cloudy look of the Milky Way is just the result of seeing too many grains of light to count individually. There is also a beautiful contrast in the comparison. Sand is the result of destruction. It is rock that has been broken down, ground up and eroded by wind and water over eons. It is the end product of geology. Stars, on the other hand, are the result of creation. They are gas that has been pulled together, compressed, and ignited. They are the beginning product of cosmology. So when we compare them, we are balancing the broken remnants of the Earth against the burning creators of the sky. We are balancing the microscopic against the macroscopic, and in that balance, we find a sense of unity. The same laws of physics that govern how sand piles up in a dune, friction, gravity, angle of repose, are the same laws that govern how stars pile up in the center of a galaxy. The universe repeats its patterns, whether it is grains of silica on a beach or stars in a spiral arm. Nature loves to gather things in vast numbers. It loves the swarm. It loves the cloud. It loves the collective. As you stand there on the imaginary beach, letting the sand slip through your fingers, listening to the ocean, try to hold both images in your mind at once. Feel the cold, rough grains in your hand. See the cold, bright points of light in the sky. Realize that you are standing between two infinities, the infinity of the small and the infinity of the large. And you, the observer, are the bridge between them. You are the one who can touch the sand and wonder about the stars. You are the one who can knit these two vast scales together in a single thought. There is no need to be afraid of these numbers. Sometimes, when people hear this comparison, they feel lost. They feel like specks of dust in a hurricane. But there is another way to feel. You can feel held. If the universe is so full of stars, it means that we are not isolated. We are not a lonely accident in a blank room. We are part of a crowded, busy, vibrant system. We are surrounded by activity. Even if we never leave this planet, even if we never touch another world, we know that the lights are on in the house. We know that the fire is burning in the hearths of billions of other rooms. The abundance of the stars is a promise that reality is rich. It is not poor. It is not empty. It is overflowing. And as the sound of the imaginary wave soothes you, and the feeling of the sand grounds you, you might notice that the stars above seem a little less distant. They are not so different from the ground beneath your feet. In fact, they are connected in a way that is even more intimate than a metaphor. We have compared the stars to the sand, but now we must reveal the final, deepest truth of our journey. We must reveal why the sand and the earth and your own body are not just compared to the stars. They are the stars. We are not just looking at the universe. We are made of it. The journey is about to come full circle. We are about to learn that the iron in the sand, the calcium in the shells, and the carbon in your hand are all souvenirs from a time when the stars were the only things that existed. Let us prepare for the final loop. Let us return to the source. And so we arrive at the final secret. We have traveled outward, past the moon, past the sun, through the spiral arms of the galaxy, and out to the very edge of the observable horizon. We have counted the billions of galaxies and weighed them against the sand of the earth. But there is one last step to take. It is the step that closes the circle. It is the realization that the stars are not merely things we observe. They are the things we are. To understand this, we must look not at the sky, but at ourselves. Lift your hand for a moment, or simply feel the weight of it resting on the bed. Think about the skin, the blood flowing beneath it, the bones that give it shape. Think about the breath entering your lungs and the oxygen traveling to your cells. We tend to think of our bodies as biological things, born of the earth, made of food and water and air. And this is true. But it is only the most recent chapter of the story. If we ask where the earth came from, where the water came from, where the carbon and the iron and the calcium came from, the answer takes us back into the deep, fiery hearts of the stars. In the very beginning, before the first galaxies lit up the dark, the universe was simple. It was composed almost entirely of hydrogen and helium. These are the lightest, simplest elements. They are gases. They are clean, primitive, and lonely. You cannot build a mountain out of hydrogen. You cannot build a tree out of helium. You certainly cannot build a human being. A universe made only of these two things would be a vast, boring fog. It would be sterile. For life to exist, for rocks and oceans and blood to exist, the universe needed complexity. It needed heavy atoms. It needed carbon to form chains, oxygen to bond with hydrogen, iron to carry magnetic fields, calcium to build structures. But these things did not exist. They had to be made. And the only place hot enough, dense enough, and powerful enough to make them was inside a star. Every star you see in the night sky is a factory. It is a cosmic forge working tirelessly in the dark. Deep inside its core, crushed by the weight of its own gravity, the star is doing something miraculous. It is taking simple atoms and squeezing them together until they fuse. It is practicing alchemy. For millions or billions of years, a star burns hydrogen into helium. But when it gets older, when the heat rises and the pressure builds, it begins to fuse heavier things. It takes helium and squashes it into carbon. It presses carbon into neon, into oxygen, into silicon. Layer by layer, like an onion of fire, the star builds the periodic table. It is manufacturing the raw materials of the future. The oxygen you are breathing right now was once created in the crushing, blinding center of a star that lived long before the Earth was born. The carbon that makes up the complex molecules of your DNA was forged in a nuclear fire. But as long as those elements remained trapped inside the star, they were useless. They were locked away in a vault of plasma. For us to exist, the vault had to be opened. The star had to give its creation back to the universe. And this leads us to the most beautiful sacrifice in the cosmos. When a massive star reaches the end of its life, it does not simply fade away. It transforms. It becomes unstable. The gravity that held it together loses its battle against the pressure of the core, and in one final radiant moment, a supernova, the star unbinds itself. It is not a violent death in the way we usually understand violence. It is a radiant release. It is a blossoming. The star explodes outward, shattering its own structure to fling its lifetime of work into the void. It seeds the galaxy. It breathes a cloud of rich, complex dust out into the empty space between the stars. This dust is different from the primordial gas. It is heavy. It is glittering with potential. It carries the gold, the silver, the iron, and the silicon. It drifts through the dark for eons, mixing with other clouds, wandering through the spiral arms of the Milky Way. Eventually, gravity begins to gather it again. About 4.5 billion years ago, in a quiet corner of our galaxy, a cloud of this enriched dust began to collapse. It spun and flattened. In the center, a new yellow star ignited, our sun. But around it, the leftover dust, the debris from those ancient dead stars, began to clump together. Grains of silica stuck to grains of iron. Rocks formed, then boulders, then mountains, then worlds. The Earth formed entirely from this recycled stardust. Every rock you have ever held, every drop of water in the ocean, and every atom in the atmosphere was once inside a star. The planet is a museum of stellar history, and then, through processes we still marvel at, that stardust learned to wake up. It learned to replicate. It learned to breathe. It learned to think. It became biology. This is the physical continuity that binds you to the sky. When we say, we are made of stardust, it is not a metaphor. It is a literal, scientific statement of fact. The iron in your blood, the hemoglobin that carries oxygen to your brain, was forged in the core of a star that exploded billions of years ago. The red color of your blood is, in a poetic sense, the memory of that red giant star. The calcium in your teeth and in your bones was baked in the heat of a white dwarf or a massive supernova. The nitrogen in your DNA was spun out of the cycle of a dying sun. You are not observing the universe from the outside. You are a piece of the universe that has developed the ability to observe itself. You are the galaxy looking at the galaxy. You are the way the cosmos knows itself. This changes the feeling of the night sky completely. When you look up, you are not looking at strangers. You are looking at ancestors. You are looking at the parents of your atoms. The distance between you and the star Betelgeuse is vast, yes, but the substance is the same. The light you see is a message from a family member. The gravity you feel is the same force that gathered you together. This is the return. It is the return of the mind to the body, and the body to the cosmos. It is the realization that you belong here. You are not an intruder in the universe. You are not a tiny, insignificant speck fighting against the void. You are a natural, inevitable outcome of the cosmic process. The universe loves to make stars, and stars love to make dust, and dust loves to make life. It is a flow. It is a river that has been running for 13 billion years. And you are the current ripple in that river. There is a profound peace in this. It means you do not have to earn your place in the world. You are already woven into it. You have been part of this story since the very first moment of the Big Bang. The particles that make you up have been there for every step of the journey. They have floated in the primordial fog. They have burned in the hearts of giants. They have drifted through the cold silence of the nebula. They have been part of asteroids and oceans. And now, for this brief, precious moment, they are gathered together in the shape of you. They are resting in your bed. They are thinking your thoughts. They are feeling the coolness of the pillow. Eventually, in the far, deep future, the cycle will continue. We are borrowing these atoms. We are the caretakers of this stardust. One day, long from now, the Earth will change, the sun will change, and the material that makes us will return to the cosmos. It will drift out again into the dark, perhaps to become part of a new nebula, a new star, a new world. We are part of the great recycling. We are a pause in the music of the spheres, a moment where the chaos organizes itself into consciousness before dissolving back into the flow. So, as you lie here, nearing the end of our journey, let yourself feel heavy, but let it be a good heaviness. Let it be the heaviness of gold and iron, the heaviness of ancient settled matter. Feel the gravity pulling you down. Gravity is just the universe hugging you. It is the Earth holding on to its own. It is the stardust in the planet calling to the stardust in your body. You are home. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. You are safe in the arms of the galaxy that made you. The counting is done. The numbers have faded. The billions and trillions have dissolved into a soft, warm blur. There is no need to measure anymore. There is only the feeling of presence. The sky above is still there, filled with its silent, glittering city. But you don't need to look at it to know it. You carry it inside you. You are a child of the sky, resting on the surface of a rock, drifting through the quiet dark. Let everything slow down. Let the atoms in your body rest. They have traveled a long way to get here. They deserve this sleep. The journey outward has become a journey inward, and in the center of that inward space, there is a quiet, steady silence, waiting to catch you as you drift off. We have reached the end of the loop. We have returned to the start, but we are different now. We know what we are, and knowing that, we can finally truly rest. And now, the journey settles. We have traveled a great distance tonight, you and I. We started on the cool grass of a familiar backyard, looking up with naked eyes at the scattered lights of evening. We drifted upward, carried by imagination and science, passing the moon and the planets, rising through the swirling diamond dust arms of the Milky Way. We floated out into the deep, intergalactic ocean, counting islands of light until the numbers dissolved into the infinite. And finally, we followed the path of the stardust back down, tracing the history of the elements until they found their home in your own hands, your own breath, your own quiet heart. The circle is complete. The vastness of the cosmos has been folded back into the intimacy of the moment. It is time to let all those images fade. You do not need to hold them anymore. You do not need to remember the difference between a red dwarf and a blue giant. You do not need to recall the shape of the spiral arms or the age of the deep field. Those are just stories the universe tells itself, and tonight, the story is ending. What remains is not the data, but the feeling. It is a feeling of profound belonging. We began by asking how many stars are in the universe, wondering if the answer would make us feel small. But now we know the truth. The stars are not separate from us. They are not distant overlords looking down from a cold height. They are our ancestors. They are the silent furnaces that forged the very possibility of this moment. You are not small. You are a concentrated piece of the universe that has decided to rest. You are a ripple in the great, ancient ocean of energy, currently enjoying a moment of stillness. If these calm, curious explorations help you unwind, I invite you to like or subscribe. It helps other sleepy souls find their way here too. And now, let the world grow quiet around you. Visualize the night sky one last time, but not as a subject of study. See it as a heavy, protective blanket being pulled up to your chin. The darkness is soft and velvety. The stars are dimmed, turning down their lights to let you sleep. The gravity that holds the galaxies together is the same gravity that presses you gently into your mattress, holding you safe, ensuring you will not drift away. There is immense comfort in realizing that the universe does not need your attention to function. The spiral arms of the Milky Way will continue their slow, majestic rotation, whether you watch them or not. The fusion in the core of the sun will continue to burn steadily, keeping the rhythm of the solar system while you drift into dreams. The expansion of the horizon will carry on, silently and inevitably in the deep dark. You can let go of the controls. You can resign from your post as the observer. The universe is capable of holding itself together. It has done so for 13.8 billion years, and it will do so for the next 8 hours while you rest. Let your mind release the concept of how many. There are enough stars. There is enough time. There is enough space. The questions that drove us forward, the mysteries of the dark matter, the secrets of the deep field, the limits of the horizon, are not problems that need to be solved tonight. They are lullabies. They are reminders that the world is larger than our understanding, and that is a good thing. It means there is always more room. It means we can rest in the knowledge that mystery itself is a kind of pillow, soft and deep, where we can lay our heads without needing to know everything. Feel your body becoming heavy, sinking deeper into the support beneath you. Your feet are loose and warm. Your hands are open and empty. Your shoulders have dropped away from your ears. Your jaw is unhinged, relaxed. Your eyes are heavy, so heavy that opening them would feel like lifting a weight you no longer wish to carry. The screen of your mind is going dark. The last few stars are flickering out, one by one, leaving only a warm, peaceful silence. The library of light is closing for the night. The astronomer is hanging up the telescope. The traveler is taking off the boots. You are stardust, returning to the quiet state of just being. Listen to the rhythm of your own breathing. It is the same rhythm as the tides, the same rhythm as the orbiting planets, the same rhythm as the expanding and contracting of the density waves in the galaxy. In and out, expansion and contraction, light and dark. You are perfectly in tune with the cosmos. There is no separation. You are safe here, in this quiet corner of the galaxy, protected by the atmosphere, held by the gravity, watched over by the ancient light of the past. Everything is slow. Everything is still. Everything is well. And now, let all of that drift away. Let all those facts and images dissolve. Your mind has done enough work for today. The universe will continue its dance. The stars will continue their long, slow orbits. You can let go. Close your eyes, rest, and dream of a quiet, radiant sea of stars. Good night.